This is Hindsight Radio.
I represent it.
The information station changing the nation.
Peace to the God. This is Akeem from Hindsight Radio, the information station changing the nation. I'm making this really quick video about the national passport. The one question I keep getting from people is my passport going to look different? It's going to say that I'm a state national. Is it going to say national on it? Is it going to have some look different from the passport I had prior to me applying for my national passport status? The answer, simply put, is no. Yeah, passport will look identical to the one you had before. The difference is how you filled out the application. That's what makes a difference. See, people do not understand how contracts work. When you filled out the application, the first time you filled it out as a U.S. citizen, and you set up certain things on that application to look like a U.S. citizen. Now, when you come to me, I teach you how to fill it out as a national, but not a citizen of the United States. And they give you your passport. What people forget about, and it's very frustrating to keep repeating myself, is this. When you do the application, you swear an oath to say that everything on that application is true and correct under penalty and perjury, right? So the first time you did it, when you did it as a U.S. citizen, you swore that you was a U.S. citizen, right? Which you lied, because I taught you, anybody who's come to my seminars, I tell you, you never was a U.S. citizen if you was born in one of the sovereign states of the Union. If you're born in New York, you're a New Yorker. North Carolina, you're a North Carolinian. You understand? Or if you're in South Carolina, South Carolinian. So you assumed you were a U.S. citizen because on the application, that's all they gave you. It was a yes or no. Are you a U.S. citizen? It was a mind game. It was a Jedi mind trick for you. And you hear so many people talking about, oh, you're a U.S. citizen, just that and the other, because you have a birth certificate from New York. No, my birth certificate does not say U.S. on it. It says New York, and I can only go to New York to get my birth certificate. So if I was a U.S. citizen, I should be able to go down to D.C. to get it. I should go anywhere in any one of the states to get it. No, I can only get my birth certificate from the place I was born in, or AKA the country I was born in. And if people have a confusion about whether state is a country, let's look up the definition again. I've done this so many times. So let's look it up. It's right there. See the synonyms of state? A nation or territory considered as an organized political community under one government. Country. There it is. That's the synonym for state. See? So, back on topic. Is your passport going to look different? No. It's going to look identical to the one. Why do I know this? Because the Department of State said it. Here it is. If you read this whole thing, certificates of non-citizen nationality. If you go back and look at my other video, I did a video completely on this. But it says here, I'm not reading this whole thing. It says, as the department has received few requests, there is no justification for creation of a non-citizen national certificate. Now, this non-citizen national certificate is a Jedi mind trick also, but that's explained in my other video. I just want to get to the part where what they're going to give you. Designing a separate document that includes anti-fraud mechanisms was seen as an inefficient expenditure of resources. Therefore, the department determined that those who would be eligible to apply for such a certificate may instead apply for a United States passport that would delineate and certify their status as a national but not a citizen of the United States. See, people don't read this, so they don't see this part. National but not a citizen. It would delineate. What is the delineation? It's not the book itself. It's your application. That's the delineation. How you filled it out, what you took an oath to. So when you do my process that I'm teaching, you're going to be taking an oath to being a national, but not a citizen of the United States, because you're going to have the proper line outs. You're going to have the proper explanatory statements that connects you to that oath or that declaration that you're making. So, no, your book won't look different. It's going to look the same. One of the reasons I think they do that because they know how big mouth everybody is. Oh, look at my book. I'm a national. Look. See, nah. That's the type of stuff that people do. They get something and they want to run around bragging. Look, I'm this, I'm that. Chest of it. This is not for that. This is for freedom. You want to be a nationalist for freedom so you can go private. And private people keep their mouth shut and stop running around and don't actually have to have something that from them that says who they are. You say who you are by way of your explanatory statements. You make that declaration. Really, years ago, your passport was your application. Passport used to be 11 by 17. Years, a couple of hundred years ago. It wasn't a book. So to make everything uniform, they gave you a book. So you didn't have to carry that paper around. That's why I tell you guys to go get a certified copy of your application that you filled out to show how you did it. So you're not going to give them the passport book. When you're proving you're a national but not a citizen of the United States, you're going to give them your certified copy of your application that you filled out, that they approved and sent you your book on. You understand? So there you go. It's not going to look any different. It's going to look the same as the one you had before. The difference is you and your energy, your studies helped you be a national but not a citizen of the United States. And it's that FOIA request, when you put it in, that's going to be the proof that you're going to get. That's why when I teach, you order the book, then you order the certified copies of your application, because you're going to use that to correct other things.
This is Hindsight Radio.
I represent it.
The information station changing the nation. Stay right there. You're listening to Hindsight Radio.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Truth Tuesday Show with your host, Akeem L. Here on Hindsight Radio, the information station changing the nation. Man, how are you guys doing out there? This is my second show for the day. We did the Brothers Hill show. We talked about a lot of things. Go check it out. Go check out the show. It is on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We might have to change the time because one of the brothers lived in Belgium, and that's late for him. It was like 11 o'clock there. So, and plus he gets up early. So we might have to change it. But for right now, it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll announce it if it changes. Um, we had a great week last week. We took some photos um, for our big day on the 15th. Some pre-photos. They came out really nice. Actually, I thought it was going to be a few weeks before we got them, but we got them within a couple of days. So I'm happy about that. Maybe I'll share one photo with you guys. Yeah, I'll share one for y'all. Let me see. Let me pick a good one. Well, they're all good. Let me see. Let me see one I want to share. Uh, I'll share this one. This one's cool. I should let y'all give y'all a glimpse into my life. There it is. That's the one of the photos. That photographer, she was awesome. You wouldn't even believe where the background is, but I ain't gonna tell y'all. Yeah, that's one of them. Look at me looking sharp there. And Beth's looking beautiful as ever. She looked like she's from one of them Asian tribes, Asian Indians. Um, there you go. That's enough. Once I'm putting this thing together for our intro to our show that we do on Friday. No, we didn't do one Friday. I was exhausted. Um, the Our Journey show that's on Friday. Um, Beth show that's on Sunday. The Independent Thinkers show. By the way, let's play her commercial real quick, and I'll come right back.
Homeschool Guide Montessori Consulting Services is a service to families and educators. I offer initial consultations for those that are interested in talking through unique situations, whether that is finding the right curriculum for their child, toilet learning, positive discipline, starting a homeschool, learning state laws, and setting up educational environments, to name a few. Please go to my website, www.home-schoolguide.com, for more information.
All right, there you go. There you have it. Homeschoolguide.com. Go there if you want to homeschool your children. Just look around, get a consultation on how you're going to homeschool. Go to that website so you can get informed about educating your child. One of the worst things that happen to us as the people in this country is the educational system. We bought into an educational system that we thought was for our good and actually harmed us. They didn't teach us the things we need. They taught us the things they wanted us to have so that they can have better control of our minds and our children's mind. We sent our children into the camp to be programmed, to be workers, to get into the rat race. That's we pro. We didn't. They weren't programmed to have their own business, to be entrepreneurs. You see. So yeah. So go to homeschool.guide.com. Also, I gotta give shouts out to Wolf's Mane Bed Care. This is one of the. This is the oil, the bed oil. I like the smell of this. I use the cream also, but I like, this is the oil for the beard. Um, they have other brands on there. Actually, I know I have their commercial here. Here it is right here. On the beard, very good. And it's got all natural products in it. Jojoba oil, vitamin E, apricot kernel oil, hemp seed, rapeseed, olive oil, eucalyptus oil. Good stuff. And good people. All right, I think I think it's Wolfmane. It is wolfsmanebeardcare.com. Go there and check them out. Um, yeah, so we took pictures last week. Man, I didn't realize that I did a couple of hours in and out. Man, that thing was all day. Got there at 1 o'clock. We didn't finish till about 7:30. So you got to take the pictures. She took us to a couple of few places to take the pictures. Then after you take those pictures, you pick the pictures you want. So, um, man, I didn't realize, but I had fun doing it though. It was fun. Man, maybe let me show you. Maybe I'll find it. Let me see if I get another shot, another good picture. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Let's see this shit. Another shot. This was inside the studio. There it is. That's the other one. I'm happy to say I am happy with her work. There you go. That's just some of it. So anyway, if you want to talk to me, 563-999-3615, press the 1 on Blog Talk if you got questions or anything like that. What else I got to want to announce? Oh, American National Trucking Company is in effect. We're getting that off the ground. I'm excited about that. American National Trucking. That's out. That's the new company. Um, Me and another brother, we're partnered to do that. It's good to work with someone who's got the same ambition as you, that knows when they see an opportunity and move forward in it. They don't have, sometimes the reason why, and this is going to segue right into what I'm talking about, you're too comfortable to be successful. You are too comfortable to be successful. That's the title of the show today. You cannot be successful being comfortable in the position that you're in. And that's the issue with us today. We are too comfortable watching TV, doing everything else that has nothing to do with us building our prosperity for our families. And I'm talking to the men mostly, but women you can listen, because you guys want to build wealth too. But men, if you're talking about being alphas and leaders in your family, you should be seeking every opportunity to grow and to build yourself and your financial uh your in your financial health. If you are happy making $15 an hour, working these jobs where someone controls your time, then I say you're too comfortable to be successful. You might consider $15 an hour a success. But $15 an hour do not take care of a family. Shoot, $20 an hour don't take care of a family. Whenever you got a job and you're on an hourly wage, you're not making enough. Your money that you're earning should be. By the way, thanks for the support in the Cash Apps. It's just going on for over here. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Thank you. Um, if you're making, what was I saying, $15, $20, if you're making an hourly wage, you're not making enough to support yourself. I mean, where you can just take off and do what you want. You're not. It takes it takes six figures or more to live comfortably. I mean, like not just 100 grand. I mean, it takes 150, 200, 300. You know, if you have a family of four, that's $300,000 a year you need to be making to live comfortable. Yeah, I know I'm setting that bar really high. And the reason why I set it high because I know that you have the power to do it. And to some people, $300,000 a year is not enough. But you know, for the sake of this conversation, 300,000. You should be striving to make that kind of money, especially if you have children. Because I'm telling you, when you have children, they have needs. The older they get, the more things they're getting into that you got to pay for. If you want to drive a nice vehicle, you know, have a nice home, that's what you need. I know that not everybody's making that. That, you know, a small percentage of the population is making that. And the only reason why the small percentage of the population is making that is because they were taught to be comfortable. Just make enough. Just get through these hard years of working your life away so you can retire and get this fixed income. But you already want a fixed income anyway. If you're making an hourly wage, that's a fixed income. So you're gonna live on a fixed income in your younger days, and then when you get older, you're gonna get on another fixed income. That's the programming you've been given to exist in. And I'm telling you, you're gonna have to, if you want real prosperity, you're gonna have to chuck all of that stuff and put it in the trash because that's not success. Success is when you own your time. When you're on vacation and money is rolling into your bank account while you're enjoying a vacation. That's financial success. Can you walk away from your job and continue to make money and not worry about, oh, I got this bill coming, stuff like that? Most people can't do that. Why? Because they have become too comfortable to be successful. They're comfortable. Oh, I got this job. You know, I got what you call guaranteed income or secure. What is that? You know, guaranteed money when it comes to a job. And I'm telling you, it's not nothing's guaranteed, and these jobs are becoming obsolete more and more. Do you realize that all of this shakeup about vaccines and stuff? These companies testing how many people they can hire or employ and get away with it and keep their businesses running. Yeah, they're testing. Okay, everybody, all these employees jumping on board. If you don't do this, we're gonna do this. They know some people are not gonna do it. They're thinning the bottom line. And the easiest thing to control is employees. That's one of the easiest expenses that they can control. Get rid of an employee or allow an employee to quit. And these jobs are letting you know it's my way or the highway. So I'm saying, why don't you make it your way? Stop being comfortable with these people. Stop, accepting these low wages, $15, $20, $25 an hour. Stop accepting that. You're better than that. You were not put here for somebody to determine your labor for $15, $20 an hour. And some of y'all are making a lot lower than that. Is that how you want to look back on your life? I work for this meager hourly wage. That's how you want to look at things? Is that what you want for yourself? That's what you want to look back and tell your grandchildren, your children? This is what I'm doing? You okay with that? Fellas, you okay with not having enough? Are you okay with looking at your children and they want something you can't buy because you can't afford it and you gotta, make a decision? Are you okay with that? What makes me happy is going on vacations and seeing my children having a good time while we're on a nice vacation. Or my family. That's what makes me happy. Us doing things together and we're having a good time. And after we do them, we're not in debt because we did it. We're not worrying about paying a bill or can't afford to pay a bill. It's a relieving feeling. It's a very good feeling to be able to go somewhere, come back, and everything's as it was when you left. You're not struggling to make up for the money that you spent on your vacation. Why? Because it's just rolling in. And I always say it all starts with the mind, your thoughts. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are good enough, powerful enough to create as much money in your life as you want. You have that power. If no one has ever told you, I'm telling you, everyone listening to my voice tonight has the power to do whatever they want. If you can see it in your mind, you can make it happen. The true God that makes things happen for you is your consciousness, your thoughts, your belief systems. You have to expand. Look at what you're making now and say, listen, this is not enough. I need more. You know what I'm saying? I want more. And it's okay to want more. Don't let everybody tell you that money isn't everything. Well, let them believe that lie. Because money in this world means a lot. You can't do anything good or positive without money. You can't help people without money. You can't have a charity without money. You can't make a difference without money. And having no money in this current system leads to nothing but stress and aggravation. And money problems is one of the number one causes of breakups in families because you don't have enough. And the only reason why you don't have enough because you are thinking or in the mindset or in the energy field of lack. It's all about your thoughts. I know sometimes you want to start something, get a business going, get some type of program going, and then you go to do it and you meet a little opposition. It seems a little difficult, it's getting slow going, and you want to default back to that old position. That's just programming, trying to take back over that old programming, trying to take back over. But you have to fight through that. So that's where the not being comfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling pursuing your own dreams. because that's the field of the unknown for you. That's you don't know how it's going to turn. People going to like my product. People going to like me. You have all these concerns. But see, if you just sign off on a job application, they say, yeah, I like you. You can have the job. That's easy to accept that. That's being comfortable, and you're not going to be successful being comfortable. There's no success in that. There's no success in being comfortable. Striving and doing more, there's always a certain level of discomfort because things are changing rapidly. You have to keep up with the industry. Like what I do, we were doing the shows on Blog Talk. I said, wait a minute, I have to change things up. I have to get on YouTube and do more live videos. And that was a good decision. And guess what? A lot of the other groups followed suit and they copying it. Somebody emailed me last night. Hey man, they listening to your show. They're saying exactly what you say. They wasn't talking like that before. Good for them. Good. I'm teaching everybody. As long as they're giving out the truth, I have no problem with copycats. I don't even care if they give me credit or not. That's how people are. They do their thing. It's all right. I don't get upset about that. I see. You have to be like me. You have to be comfortable in what you're doing, and you have to know that you are a trailblazer, meaning you create the path for others to follow. And that's what I'm promoting today. You be the trailblazer for your family to pursue prosperity and extreme wealth, breaking generational curses when it comes to money. When you're setting up these trusts and you got all these accounts going on. Today I was watching a video on Instagram, and it was, I think it was Lad Bible, and he was interviewing an older gentleman, and they were talking about buying a car versus lease. And the guy said, man, over the last 12 years, I haven't bought a car, I just leased them. And they were Rolls Royces. He said he didn't lease them in his name, he leased them in his corporation's name. Something to think about. So a lease, average lease about 3 years. You turn the car back in or you sell it. And he kept doing that over and over. And that right there is the way he gets his money back, because he writes that expense off because the corporation owns it. I remember hearing Grant Cardone talk about that, buying a jet. I forgot how much that jet was, but it was millions. To get a tax credit, and not only do that, create a tax credit for the next following year. See, we haven't been taught how to transact business on that level. We just been taught, get a job, get an education, get a job. That's it. And that's bad information. That's bad advice. That's bad advice. Way bad. How I know it's bad? Just look around. Everybody's doing that, and look and everybody has the same story. Man, I'm just trying to get by. I'm trying to make it. I hate this job. And that brings me to another point. For years, people complained about the jobs, how much they hated it, and they had a perfect opportunity in 2020 to switch the game up for their family because they were forced to stay home. And a lot of people wasted that time complaining about not being able to work. They used that time to become a victim or feel like a victim. Oh, they not giving me work. And then the government threw some people that money, and they figure they just stay home and just collect a check. All of that stuff comes to an end, and once it comes to the end, what do you do after that? See, you're too comfortable to be successful. See, you became comfortable with the government giving you a handout. Some people did that. They just sat home, and people were like, well, we can't find anybody because nobody want to work. It was short Uber drivers. Why drive an Uber when I'm getting a check that I can make more money than Uber? But the problem with doing that is when you're not out there hustling or trying to make your bread, you get comfortable and lazy, and you develop more bad habits that keep you from being in a prosperity mindset. See, you cannot get comfortable sitting around taking days or, just laying in the bed, getting up, watching TV. You're not going to be productive that way, and you're going to get used to that. By the way, get them likes up. Make some more say, get the likes up. You're going to get used to all of that. That's not cool. Yeah, it feels good. Hey, I ain't got to do anything. I'm taking a break. But if your finances is not to the point where you leaving something behind for your family that they can live off for their generations, then you don't have time to rest, fellas. You don't have time. And I know some of y'all's conditions with the child support killing y'all. Y'all don't have time to take a break. You don't. You gotta hustle, and you hustle for yourself, for your own uh, desires, and for your feeling that, hey, I did this. I made this happen. I broke this bondage, this poverty uh, prison. Peace. See what's going on in the chat. Aren't y'all tired of that? Thank you to everyone who has sent a donation. Thank you, thank you. Let me call them out. Halis, thank you. Who else? There was a few of you guys. John G. L. Bay, as always, and then Curtis Williams. Thanks. Thanks for those donations. Everything counts. This station costs money to run, and I appreciate the support. Um, Stop being comfortable. Comfortable is not a good thing, especially when you're not where you want to be. Work hard now. Stay up late. You know what it took to get all of this information that I know now. I stayed up late. You know, early in the morning, reading, going over stuff. Sometimes I don't stay up this late, but I sometimes I feel like I need to get back into that. So there you have it. Don't get comfortable. Make yourself uncomfortable. Make yourself uncomfortable in a good way, pursuing your dreams. And make sure it's something that you love to do, that you enjoy to do. You know, my plan is to get 10 companies that I can invest in and at least get 10% of that company so that I can have 100%, total 100% of 10 companies. You know, that's my goal. And let that person run the business. It's your business. Just give me 10% for me helping you get in business. See, you become successful by helping others. And see, once you get to a certain, thanks Steve Johnson for the donation. Once you get to a certain level of consciousness, you start saying, wait a minute. You get to a several level of consciousness where you make things easier for yourself. You realize that making money is not about physical labor. It's all about mental work, mind work. Like Reverend Ike says, it's all about the mind science. This is where the money comes from, right out of here. The amount of money you have in your bank account is a direct reflection of your thoughts on what you believe you should have. That's where it's coming from. Nowhere else. So if you have a lot of money in your bank account, that's a direct reflection of you think abundance. If you have very little, you're thinking on very little. You're thinking things like, man, I hope I have enough. I think I look like I'm gonna come up short. You're preaching that stuff. You're calling that stuff out. Same thing with problems. When you're having problems and they're showing up in your life, you're dwelling on that, and they're showing up. You think they're just happening? No, they're not. They're showing up because you're calling that to you. Somebody's asking, if I'm a national, not a citizen, do I still have to follow federal, state, and local laws when employing others, especially those that are not national? You're a private corporation and you hire who you want, but you can't discriminate. You gotta, if you're gonna be a person who's gonna hire people, it doesn't have anything to do with you being a national. Your corporation, your company needs to follow the Constitution and be fair and just, no matter what their national status is. So what you gonna do? You're just gonna hire? You're gonna go looking? Oh, I'm only hiring nationals. You can, if you know that many nationals out there that live near you and want to work for you. The only person that you really need to be concerned with about being a national is yourself. What other people are when that come, long as they can do a good job, because not all nationals going to be able to do a good job for you. You might be somebody that's not a national. That's the to hire somebody, long as that person can do the job that you want them to do. That should be your main priority, and they're reliable and dependable and honest. Whether they're a national or not, that's okay. But those are the main criteria for hiring people. Yeah, somebody said the IRS doesn't exist, may not exist because all of the main buildings is closed and boarded up completely. I've heard that. I've seen a couple of videos, but the news media is making it like it's all still running. Somebody, oh, you talking about the tax laws? If you hire them as a contractor, let them be responsible for their own taxes. But if you're gonna be a W-2 employee, giving them W-9s, you got to follow those laws. Yes. 1099 them. Don't hire them as an employee. Give them 1099. Say, I'm giving you a straight track. What you work for is what I give you. You take care of the taxes yourself. You deal with that. Call in 563-999-3615. With your comments, concerns, questions. I know I'm not teaching a whole lot on the air with Remedy. I haven't been motivated to do it lately. I'm only motivated to do it in a private group. A lot of the stuff, the information I have, they've already changed the passport application. And now I hope y'all went and got those passport applications from the post office that I told you about a few weeks ago. Because now they're giving out the new applications at the post office. So y'all better make a mad dash. Even if you got your passport done, you need to go get that application. Have them. Yeah, man. They setting up for something. They changed the application, took the acts and conditions out. Well, they didn't take them out. They just changed the wording of it. And somebody keep coming in the room talking about be a state set. I kicked them out. I blocked them. Become a state national and all of this stuff. Jumping ahead. Go somewhere else with that nonsense. I don't teach y'all to be state nationals. I teach y'all to be American nationals. You don't want to be a state national. Because the states are the ones who sold y'all out in the first place to the Fed. They're the ones that gave you up. All these rules that they're following, these laws, is based off federal guidelines, federal statutes. Yeah. Um, let's see who's on the line. Let's see. Let's shout out to Karen Israel. She said happy Tuesday. Then she also said, show earlier was a great show. Thanks, appreciate it. You know, we still getting it off the ground. I gotta create an intro for it. But thank you for supporting. Curtis Williams, peace. C King Bay, 75816. Peace. I see people on Blog Talk, but they ain't got their hands up, so I guess they don't want nothing. Stephanie Johnson, Robert AC, Moore, Indigenous Nolans. Peace. No need to apologize. Yeah. Yeah, we doing a show. They just, like, my whole screen went green. And then my computer shut down. And we were like, dang. They don't want the brothers to get together and talk about nothing. I had to scramble back in. I said I gotta start doing my rituals before the show to protect it. All right. If y'all want to call in, y'all gonna let me do a short show. I already did a show earlier, so I'm ready to go home, chill. Let me see. What can I talk about today? What can I talk about? I can tell you this. If y'all in the membership, y'all in for a treat. Um, y'all in for it. Y'all gonna, when I release this IRS information that I got, um, that I've been saying I've had it for a while. It's just I got to put it all together and organize it. When I release this corporate, how to set your corporations up properly to protect you and minimize your tax liabilities and stuff like that. I've already showed y'all how to set up y'all churches. Some of y'all set up the church. Showed y'all that you don't need a 501c3. The Lord says you can set up your church without it. I told you where to put it and how to connect your trust to it. Shoot, make it, how to make your house your trust. Why are you guys not doing that? I mean, if you read the Bible, they didn't go to church every week like that. They was home in their hometown. They did their practices in their hometown, and then once a year they traveled for the festivals. So what were they doing in the hometown? So that means your home should be your church, your holy ground. That should be your temple, your synagogue, your home. The church building is an extension of your home. That's where you go to fellowship with like-minded folks. The church is not the building. The church is the people. Like in that movie, The Avengers, I think in Thor of Ragnarok, it said, Asgard is a people, not a place. Your church is a people, not a place. Your synagogue is a people, not a place. Your temple, your mosque is a people, not a place. How come you can't set up your belief systems and make your house the holy ground? Why won't you do that? No, you don't do that because they taught you not to do that. They taught you, oh, come here, come to this place. This is where you the only holy and sanctified place to be. And while you're at it, let me get in your pocket. If I already have an EIN, am I able to get another or change the one changing the one you currently have? I don't know about that, but you can always get another EIN in the same name as the one before. You don't think there's people in this country with the same name as your company name? Some people got the same, but they're in different states. So yeah, they give you EIN on that. 563-999-3615 if you got a question or comment. Somebody's booking a consultation. Y'all better get your consultations out this week because next week I'm not doing any. None. No consult. I've already blocked it off. So if you want to talk, getting set up this week because I got plans. You know, sometimes I feel like I need a break, and I do, but I don't take them because I have this. This is. I still got goals to meet, and I can't slow down now. I cannot slow down now. Cannot. And you should be saying the same thing. You cannot slow down now because you got a generational curse to break. Poverty generational curse. Make it a commitment. We're going into the new year. That reminds me. We have um, the New Year's ritual coming up. I am thinking about doing something really special with that day. Um, but I need to start making plans now because we're already in October. This year's over, man. It's October, November. It's over. 2020 is done with. Hopefully, 2022 we can get a break from all the hysteria and pandemonium that they're creating out there. Aren't you thankful that you survived all of this nonsense? You're still here. And if you're still here, that means you can still achieve your goals. Despite all of the, the stuff that's going on in the news and the craziness going on, you are still here. That means you still have opportunities. That means you can do it. I know you can, but do you believe it? Do you believe you can do it? See, my belief in you is nothing compared to your belief in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You got to stop telling yourself or giving yourself a ton of excuses on why you can't do something. It's not your husband, it's not your wife, it's not your children that's the reason. It is you are the reason why you're not doing it. Take responsibility. You can achieve it. Somebody said they went to Washington, D.C., all the main buildings are closed. It's been like that all year, y'all. Those buildings have been closed all year. White House, all that. It's been closed, shut down. Them videos they showing like that at the White House, they're in a studio. They are in a studio. And another thing I want to make you aware of, if you notice, you're going into the stores, they excuse me, the shelves are looking kind of bare in a lot of areas. That's because trucks is the supplies are out on the barges on the water, not being able to get in. The truckers are not being able to deliver. There's something going on. They're just leaving just enough in the stores for you to buy. What is happening? Are you ready? Remember, I did a video. Y'all better start buying them canned goods like them canned tunas, canned chicken, canned salmon. Oh, they last on the shelf for a good while for you. I know canned foods is not the greatest, but starving to death ain't the greatest either. So take a choice. It ain't gonna hurt to start stocking up on some things. Things are looking real suspect out there. Very suspect. And start paying attention. But do not get off your focus in your dream because still there's a lot of money. And every economic collapse, there's always millionaires being made. Some people go down, and other people just go all the way up. Yeah. Be be on the watch. Just buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. Somebody said they're trying to. DJ B said he's trying to create his own fish farm. Okay, cool. You need a lot of tank for that. Can y'all hear me? Oh wow. Hold on. My power. All right. All right. Sound like I'm back. Can y'all hear me? My it's been happening all day. Things just going off, shutting down. My my whole board when it's turned off, I had to turn it back on. So y'all should be able to hear me now. All right, 806. Okay, let's look at the phone lines. Nobody. Couple of people, but no hands up. Hey, thank you. Give me the rest of the night off. I might come back later this week with some teachings. Somebody said, is it necessary to file a DBA for your ministry in the state you reside as well as any other state you can? Yes, you need to put that in the file that down at the county. If you're going to be doing business, because you don't want anybody to take your name. So yes, it is necessary to file that DBA of the church. That's all you need to do. You don't have to register with the Secretary of State. Go down to the Registry of Deeds for your state and just record it. Yeah. You know what? I might be able to look up mine. I don't know. Let's see. Show you what mine look like. If I can pull it up. No, that's not what I want. NC Secretary. All you gotta do is go there and file it. Let's see. They make it hard to find. One day I'll do a show y'all my stuff. I have a question. Are you familiar with the SF-95 form? What is that form? SF-95. Why is somebody coming on here asking me about Jonah? How about you go over to Jonah channel and ask him? I don't work with Jonah. I think he's a better person to answer that question. What was I about the SF-95? That seemed like a claim of damage, injury, or death. No, I'm not familiar with doing anything like that. No, sir. No. I don't know anything about SF-75. I don't teach that. Looks like GSA bonds. I already told y'all about GSA bonds and how dangerous they could be. Did I get an email? What email? When did you send the email? When did you send it? Did you send it tonight? I probably got it. I just ain't been able to look at it. But I don't see any emails on here. No. Let's see. No, I don't see an email. DJB. When did you send it?
Okay, who's got this consultation? Chris Williams. No, sir. Unless you sent it last week sometime. You talking about something you sent last week? Um, uh, let's see. I don't see no email, GJB Thunder. Oh, you sent it last week. Well, if you sent it last week, then I got it. I just don't. Yeah, that was something with the the marriage thing and with the case on there. You know what? That's a good thing to talk about. So I might not get a chance to talk about it next week. Yeah, I got that one from last week. If that's what you're talking about. Um, Good information you sent me though. Um, okay, I think that was in my Proton mail account. That's a good thing to talk about. Thank you. Before I go, I'll drop it on you that you don't really need a license, and they got case law to support that. Okay. Court case. Yeah, you sent it on 29th. I got it. I got it, bro. And the court case is Trapasso versus Lewis. Let's see. Da-da-da. Okay, here's the court case. It is. All right. Oh, they even got. Y'all need to see this one. I think. Thanks for reminding me about this. So it looks like I'm not getting off after all. Let me share this with y'all real quick. Share. All right, right there is the. This is a case where I think the wife died and the trustee for her trust tried to. And this was actually this year. It says here in 2003, Waltraud, Regina, and Thomas Kramer were purportedly married by a religious marriage ceremony. I told you guys that y'all could do that, right? Though they never obtained a marriage license. The couple subsequently purchased a condominium unit as tenants by the entireties. In 2015, Regina executed a deed conveying her interest in the property to the Waltraud Regina Living Trust. After Regina's death in 2016, appellate Victoria Trapasso, as substitute trustee of the trust, filed a petition to quiet title the property. Basically, try to take the property from the husband. Essentially requesting a declaration that the trust owned 50% of the property because Regina and Kramer were never validly married. The circuit court for Anne Arundel County determined that Regina and Kramer were validly married, and accordingly that Kramer was the sole owner of the property by virtue of the tenants by the entirety's deeds. Trapasso timely appealed and presents the following question. Were Kramer and Regina legally married so that Walter and Regina lacked the legal capacity to convey her interest in the real property at issue? Applying long-standing Maryland precedent, we conclude that Regina and Kramer were validly married and shall therefore affirm. Factual procedural background. Kramer died on June 21st, 2020. The personal representative of his estate was substituted as a Pele on July 31st, 2020. By two separate deeds, Regina and Kramer acquired as tenants by the entireties, a condominium unit in Wintergreen Condominium Associate, as well as LCE Garage Space 306 and GCE Storage Unit. We shall simply refer to both conveyances as the property or the condominium. Oh, my bad. Agreement and participated in a religious wedding ceremony. Their failure to obtain a marriage license is at the center of this appeal. We reprint the marriage agreement the parties executed on September 28, 2003. They even got a agreement in here. If you guys want to do it, you can follow this. In the presence of God and of the hereinafter named witness, I, Thomas E. Kramer, do take Waltraud Regina to be my lawful wedded wife. And I do promise to love, honor, and obey, to support her, be always faithful, cherish, hold, and care for her in sickness and in health until death do part. We do part. And in the presence of God and of the hereinafter named witnesses, I, Waltraud Regina, do take Thomas E. Kramer to be my lawful wedded husband. And I do promise to love, honor, and obey, to support him, be always faithful, cherish, hold, and care for him in sickness and in health until death we do part. I, Thomas E. Kramer, do recognize and hold these aforementioned marriage vows to be binding on me in the same way any civil marriage license and civil or religious church ceremony would be. I do also recognize and concede that Walter Regina has the same rights as if we were bound as husband and wife by a civil marriage license and civil or religious church ceremony. And I, Walter Regina, do recognize and hold these aforementioned marriage vows to be binding on me in the same way any civil marriage license, civil or religious church ceremony would be. I do also recognize and concede that Thomas E. Kramer has the same rights as if he were bound as husband and wife by civil marriage license, civil or religious church ceremony. By the signing of this marriage agreement and the taking and holding of the aforewritten vows, we, the undersigned bride and groom, in the presence of Almighty God and of the undersigned witnesses, do declare ourselves to be husband and wife. 4 attesting witnesses signed the marriage agreement. The Reverend Robert S. Louisel Sr. of St. Paul's Anglican Church in Annapolis officiated the marriage ceremony and signed a certification that Regina and Kramer were joined together in the holy state of matrimony on September 28, 2003 in Crownsville. Regina established the trust in 1998 before meeting Kramer. The trust, a revocable trust, designated Regina as its initial trustee. An amendment to the trust in 2014 named Trapasso Regina's daughter from a prior marriage as the first successor trustee upon Regina's death or incapacity. Regina also executed a last will and testament in 2014 designating Trapasso as personal representative and bequeathing all of Regina's probate estate to the trust. Kramer is not mentioned in either the trust instrument or the will. Interesting. Regina died on June 18, 2016, and was buried with her first husband. Huh? On August 10, 2016, Kramer executed a confirmatory deed in which he recited that Regina purportedly conveyed her interest in derogation of her interest in property as a tenant by the entirety. The confirmatory deed further recited that as a result of Regina's death, Kramer was vested with sole title to the property as the surviving tenant by the entirety. Trapasso, as substitute trustee, filed a petition to acquire title and for sale in lieu of partition of real property in order to discharge proceeds, seeking a declaration that the trust owned 50% of the property. Kramer filed an answer to the petition disputing validity of the March 4th, 2015 deed conveying Regina's interest in the property to the trust. Sounds like she did all this behind his back. A bench trial took place on September 21st, 2018. No live testimony was presented. The parties agreed to submit their cases based on proffers and extensive documentary evidence at which was admitted without objection. The court received the depositions, testimony of Reverend LaSalle An ordained priest of Anglican Church, Reverend LaSalle, verified that he presided over the September 28, 2003 marriage ceremony in accordance with precepts of the church. He noted that he had known the couple for approximately 7 years before they approached him about getting married. In addition to the deeds at issue, the trust documents, and Regina's last will and testament, the parties submitted evidence bearing on whether Regina considered herself to be married to Kramer. That evidence includes documents verifying that Regina was receiving Social Security benefits based on her first marriage, and that she maintained accounts with Verizon, AT&T, as well as bank accounts solely in her name. Regina also represented to the Internal Revenue Service that she was single. On the other hand, there was evidence presented that Regina co-signed an auto loan with Kramer and held a joint checking account with them. Circuit Court determined that Regina and Kramer were validly married under Maryland law by virtue of their religious wedding held on September 28, 2003. So the court, even though they didn't get a license, said that they were validly married because they did it with their church and they signed a contract. Remember what the Constitution says: they cannot abridge private contract, your right to private contracts. I've been telling y'all that. In doing so, the court found that the marriage agreement and related documents included almost every component of what might utilize their preparation of a marriage. So you can't just do a religious ceremony. You have to document it like they did and have witnesses. That's all it takes. So this shows you don't need a marriage license. Accordingly, the court declared invalid Regina's deed conveying her interest in the property to the trust and concluded that Kramer became the sole owner of the property upon Regina's death. The court entered its order on October 28th, 2018, from which Trapezo, in her capacity as substitute trustee, timely appeals. We are asked to answer a straightforward question: where Regina and Kramer validly married under Maryland law, despite having never obtained a marriage license as required by Section 2-401 of the Family Law Article. Because Maryland precedent requires us to answer yes to that question, we hold that Regina's deed purporting to convey her interest in the property to trust was a nullity. We begin with some basic principles of real property law. A tenancy by the entireties may only be held by a married couple. Young v. Young, 3-7 Maryland Appellate Pills 211, 216, 1977. If the marriage is dissolved through divorce or annulment, or is otherwise invalid, the parties would instead hold the property as tenants in common or joint tenants. In a tenancy by the entireties, one spouse generally may not act alone to convey an interest in the property. The other spouse must assent to the conveyance of the real property article. This is in contrast to tenancies in common and joint tenancies, which allow a single tenant to convey his or her interest in a property without permission. So basically, you cannot, based on the law of your state, you cannot convey a property into a trust without the other one's consent if you're married. Okay. Thus, if Regina and Kramer were married, Regina's March 4th, 2015 deed conveying her share of the property to the trust without Kramer's assent was invalid. Trapezo argues that Regina and Kramer were not validly married because Family Law Article Section 2-401A and 2-406E require parties to obtain a marriage license before marrying. Maryland Code 1984 and all those other numbers of the Family Law Article, Trapezo avers that because a couple cannot create a common law marriage in Maryland, a marriage license is a prerequisite for a valid marriage. Kramer responds that applicable case law clearly holds that a ceremonial marriage without a license is sufficient to constitute a valid marriage in Maryland. He claims that Florida Section 2-401 creates criminal liability for marrying without a license, but does not nullify the marriage itself because the statute is in derogation of the common law and does not expressly state that such a marriage is void. Section 2-401 of the Family Law Article states in its entirety, An individual may not marry in a state without a license issued by the clerk for the county in which the marriage is performed. B, any individual who violates this section is guilty of a misdemeanor and on conviction is subject to a fine of $100. Section 246 of the family law addresses the requirements to perform a marriage ceremony. It states in pertinent part, an individual may not perform a marriage ceremony without a license that is effective under this subtitle. An individual who violates the provisions of this subsection is guilty of a misdemeanor and on conviction is subject to fine not exceeding $500. The Court of Appeals articulated the principles of statutory interpretation. In statutory interpretation, our primary goal is to discern the legislative purpose, the ends to be accomplished, or the evils to be remedied by a particular provision, be it statutory, constitutional, or part of the rules. Y'all better listen carefully. We begin our analysis by first looking to the normal, plain meaning of the language of the statute. Reading the statute as whole to ensure that no word, clause, sentence, or phrase is rendered surplusage or superfluous. Man, I'm tongue-tied. Meaningless or nugatory. Further, an interpretation should be given to the statutory provisions that does not lead to absurd consequences. So basically, they're saying when a law is created, it shouldn't cause harm. You know, it shouldn't be a law that, you know, restricts your rights. So further, an interpretation should be given to the statutory provision that does not lead to absurd consequences. If the language of the statute is clear and unambiguous, we need not look beyond the statute's provision and our analysis ends. If, however, the language is subject to more than one interpretation, or when the terms are ambiguous, when it is part of a larger statutory scheme, it is ambiguous, and we endeavor to resolve that ambiguity by looking to the statute's legislative history, case law, statutory purpose, as well as the structure of the statute. Even in instances when the language is unambiguous, it is useful to review legislative history of the statute to confirm that interpretation and to eliminate another version of legislative intent alleged to be latent in the language. Additionally, statutes in derogation of the common law are strictly construed, and it is not to be presumed that legislature, by creating a statute, intended to make an alteration to the common law other than what has been specified and plainly pronounced. Therefore, statutes related to the validity of marriage are merely directory unless the statute clearly indicates a legislative intention to nullify such marriage. There is an ambiguity within a statute when there's just two or more reasonable alternative interpretations of the statute. The plain language of FL section 2-41 could reasonably be read as either declaring unlicensed marriage invalid or therefore avoid ab initio, or merely encouraging licensure through the creation of a misdemeanor punishable by fine without nullifying the underlying marriage. So basically, they're saying it's a violation to marry without a license, but it doesn't necessarily nullify the marriage if you did it. That's really what this is saying. Because the statute is ambiguous, we must look outside its plain language to determine whether an unlicensed marriage is valid. Fortunately, this particular question of statutory interpretation has been resolved in prior cases, most notably over 100 years ago in Feely. For background, we note the difference between a common law marriage and a ceremonial marriage. It is well settled that a common law marriage may not be created in Maryland. However, the phrase common law marriage is often misused. The phrase common law marriage refers specifically to one form when a couple agree to be married, hold themselves out to be married, and cohabit as married couple without participating in a formal ceremony. These actions by themselves have never been recognized as forming a marriage in Maryland. So what they're saying is, if you just get together and say we're married without doing a ceremony, then that's not recognized. But these people did a full-on ceremony. The common law of England recognized another type of marriage, a ceremonial marriage, that is one solemnized by a religious ceremony. Ceremonial marriage were the only type of marriage ever recognized under Maryland's common law, either as a colony or as a state. With this background in mind, we turn to the case law that controls the resolution of this case. In Feely, the parties were married in 1891 and divorced in 1896. In 1915, they reunited without first obtaining a marriage license, participated in a religious ceremony where the parties understood that the priest was officiating there in order that they might live together in lawful wedlock. Approximately a year later, the wife filed a complaint for divorce seeking alimony and division of property. The husband's defense was based upon the theory that the parties were not lawfully remarried. The relevant statute provided that no person within the state shall be joined in marriage until a license shall have been obtained from the clerk of circuit court for the county in which the marriage is to be performed. The husband therefore contended that the failure to secure a marriage license rendered the marriage void. In determining the validity of the marriage, the court considered the purpose of the licensing statute as it related to the common law. Under Maryland's common law, a religious ceremony in celebration of civil contract was sufficient to make the marriage lawful. There you go. I don't even think I have to read this anymore. That's enough. I done read enough. I done read the whole, except for 2 pages of it. Yeah. There you go. Somebody sent me something. Let's see that. All right, somebody sent me a text. So, there y'all got it. Y'all don't need a marriage, like, long as y'all get a contract, sign it, go and do your get somebody to marry you. I have the credentials to do it. Those containing trailers may be loaded with weapons inside those ship. I am 18 and words spread like fire. They talking about weapons inside there? Really, in Mexico? Weapons for who? Yeah, so there you got it. No license is required. Just do your ceremony if you don't want to get the license, But if you want to get the license, do that too. It's up to you. Alpha Majection said he loves your channel. Thank you. Thank you. What do you mean by these container ships out there? Word spread like fires in our community. They just sitting out there doing what? What the weapons are for? All right, y'all. It's 8:33. Let me see. Let's go back to Blog Talk. Still nobody got their hand up. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to shut it down. It's in the whole process of marriage with 2 witnesses on their religious belief. Well, these people have 4 witnesses, so in their situation. Well, with that being said, y'all have a good night. Peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to everybody. And I am going to turn it in.
Peace to the gods. You're listening to Hindsight Radio. This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.